2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the SECS. This is going to be Season 18, Week number 2. I'm here with NYJohn, and we are in a matchup between MQ and MMD. I believe this is the semifinals. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if that's correct, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, and so far we've had one long game and one really short game, so maybe we can get something in the middle for this one. That would be pretty nice.
Like a 30 or 40-minute one with like equally even team fights on both sides, but then one deciding team fight at the end might be good. But yeah, like a 56-minute one was the first game, and then 17-minute stomp by MMD over a team which we thought did pretty well in that first game. So I'm interested to see what they can bring to the table this time around, or if they're just a one-hit wonder. Forgive me for using, I don't know, that's a really terrible phrase, but still. Bands will come out once again. The Unanswered band, yes, then Magnus. So it's been the same for pretty much every single band phase for those first two bands, I think, for the time being. So that's good stuff. We Love Moon Queen is apparently their name. I did not know that. I'm just going to call them MQ for Moon Queen. The band will come out from the Dark Seer, and one more band here on the side of MQ. And I know you casted with Splinter, and he's not the captain right meow. But do you think he's got any sort of things up his sleeve right now in terms of strategies? You know what he's going to try to go here.
I can't remember ever having seen him play. I know he's played before, probably on teams with Milkshake, and people like that, but I can't personally remember his gameplay. I did cast with him, and he didn't disclose any secret strategies, but I expect to see some solid play coming out from both sides of it. MMD coming off a really one-sided stomp. See if they can continue that momentum. We mentioned earlier when we were talking privately, these are teams that at least as groupings we haven't seen all too much. So interesting to see a new mix of people make their way into the Sunday night action.
Ah, it's definitely true. You always like to see fresh blood, whether they get stomped or they do the stomping, and MMD the one doing the stomping in that previous game. But still pretty exciting. And like you said, yeah, these the only team that I really recognize here in this week's bracket is Hello, This Is Dog. Right now, they're facing up against another team in the other semifinal, and they'll be going to the finals if they can converge on a win there. But in the meantime, we're doing our own game right now, and right now, Batrider will be picked up once again, I think, for MMD. Undying and Rubik again on the side of Moon Queen, and we will see probably another Templar Assassin pickup. I would not be surprised to see that on the side of MMD. They've got one more pick to follow that up as well, but they won't get the Rubik this time around because MQ does pick that up. But I think everything went really well for them in the previous game, so why alter your plan except for getting a different support like that isn't Rubik, you know?
Yeah, it's pretty. They had good heroes. The question I had was the coherence of their lineup if they had to go into team fights, but the game never really made it to that stage where team fights were the centralized focus. Instead, they were able to just systematically pick apart everything that the Dire team had ever wanted to do, and that was their great
Their
success
hopes and
in the last
dreams.
match. And I don't know if they're going to be able to just kind of out execute and out skill this team as handedly as they did in the last game. This might be a closer affair overall.
And MQ maybe the veterans here in this matchup, but with MMD coming into the scene, maybe they've been playing with each other for a while. And honestly, Game Thrower on that Luna had an excellent start to that game in the previous game, getting that hand to Midas at 5 minutes. Of course, we talked about how she didn't get it to her until the courier brought it to her within. The 7 minute mark, and so maybe they, take out a few of those mistakes that they had early on, and they stomp even harder here. That being said, though, of course, MQ not a team to take lightly. They're going to have a Keeper of the Light pickup here on MMD, and a hero that's seeing a lot of play as of recently. His Illuminate so strong, Chakra Magic good with anybody in his lane. Of course, very squishy as we saw in that first game up against Baba +4 versus V3, and then another Venomancer pickup here for MQ. So interesting choice right now. They have an Undying, they've got a Rubik, and they've got a Venomancer. This sort of screams to me that they're going to maybe send Rubik possibly mid, or maybe send Undying into an offlane. What do you think they might do with these heroes right now?
It's tough to judge, but Rubik is not that great against the Templar Assassin, which is what you have to assume the solo middle will be. If it's a Batrider, Rubik still has a decent time in that matchup. It's not a decisive victory for him in either of the cases, though, and as such, you have to assume that he would be a support or I'm not sure. It depends, I guess, what they want to do with the Undying. If they want to put him into the offlane as a solo, it's not going to be that easy if he's up against Keeper of the Light because of the damage spam that comes out from him. Also, the Drain Chakra when he decides to get that up. So I'm curious to see what they want to make of it. It's going to really depend on the last couple of hero picks coming up here. And the bans come out, they take out Tide. So it looks like the Radiant are going to ban out some offlaners, and the Dire take out Tiny. So I'm going to take out some carry options, and aggressive carry options at that.
Yeah, something. Honestly, I haven't seen Tiny in quite some time, and I would really, really enjoy to see that. But Something to note right now, everybody on MQ is sort of a green tint, a green color coordinated, which I find very interesting. I don't know if they're planning on that, but obviously I don't think so. But it's always something interesting. I always enjoy looking at the colors and things of that nature. I'm an idiot, but regardless, Tide Hunter will be banned out here from the side, like you said, from MMD. So we've got 2 more bans from each team. Wisp gonna, or excuse me, Tiny being banned out. They might want to ban out Wisp if they're thinking about Tiny being picked up as well. If they want to go for another ban, CK might be something. And Tinker being banned out here from MMD, surprisingly. So not sure if MMD knows anything about MQ, if they know what they like to play. A Tinker ban is very specialized, in my opinion. You don't see too many Tinker bans happening. Of course, he's very annoying to play against, but usually it doesn't get picked up too often anymore. Then again, if they know something we don't, obviously they've got a little bit of inside information. And then MQ will ban out the Phantom Lancer. So interesting carry bans already. I mean, Sven is like still available. It's almost like MQ is sort of baiting them into saying, all right, you can have Sven. We have a counter for this. Here's what it is. But I mean, yeah, is he still available? I'm correct in saying that, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he's still there.
Sven
So.
is in the pool, and I mean, I guess the Keeper of the Light goes well with Phantom Lancer. I mean, that must be the only reason why you decide to take him out is because you could provide him the match, you could keep him relatively safe. But I can't really understand that ban entirely. And then now we see Syllabear ban out from the Radiant team, and that's a hero that's pretty much always good, so you can't really object to that. We don't see him as often as we did, but he can still be very powerful, especially in strong pushing lineups like they have going for them right now, and that is MQ.
Absolutely. And there's the Chaos Knight ban. So instead of Sven, they'll go with Chaos Knight. Sven going to be picked up by MMD? I'm not sure. I mean, both teams. If neither team picks Sven up for this entire pick phase, I'm just going to be blown away. Like, how do you, like, there? See, right? Okay, good. I mean, there. If he had gotten picked up, I might have been like, well. If he hadn't gotten picked up, I would have been like, well, what are they thinking? And they're going to pick up the Faceless Void immediately to counteract that Sven pickup there. So they sort of knew that that was coming, but at the same time, how do you counter the Sven? That's with the Faceless Void getting carried, getting farmed late, and we'll have to see how that works out in the favor of MQ. So one more pick for both teams right now, and what is it going to be? Right now, it looks like MMD could benefit from another hero. Enigma. Really?
Enigma made it through.
He did. That's true. That is a good point. So that's a very strong hero after that second ban phase. That usually doesn't make it through half the time, but he did make it through this time around. Will they pick him is the question. It could be a very strong pickup here on the side of MMD. I'm not sure if they're going to go for it, though. They do need a little bit more team fight, I think. They've got the Keeper of the Light with that Illuminate damage, but everything else is sort of more single target based. If you think about Templar Assassin, Sven with his Stormhammer a little bit and his Cleave, but that's sort of later on into the game. And Batrider has this Firefly, but he's more really focused on the Lasso and, of course, the sticky Napalm strikes and getting those solo kills pretty quickly. What will they pick up, though, is the question. They're using the reserve time pretty effectively. They're at 35 seconds right now. They've got all the time in the world to really think about it. They might end up thinking about the Enigma just like you did, and I would not be surprised to see that pickup. But then again, without that Enigma, it's sort of a, where do you send everybody? I think you send Enigma probably into the jungle and then a dual lane with Sven and Keeper of the Light, and then off lane Batrider and Templar Assassin mid.
Yeah, it would be a safe solo, and they're going to do the same thing with Nature's Prophet, it looks like. So they're going to throw him into the jungle instead. They did it last game. I called it into question, and they ended up really benefiting with it, and a Windrunner pickup for MQ to round up their lineup.
They were just like, all right, John, we're going to show you how we're going to do this. And then they proceeded to wreck the entire team. But yeah, once again, not a whole lot of team fight here, but maybe just enough. Windrunner the pickup for MQ this time around. Enigma did get through, but of course not going to be picked up here. And not sure what is going to happen here. Is this going to be a mid Windrunner? I have no idea how this is going to be laned.
It could be a mid Undying. That's what I've been thinking for like half a minute here. Undying could also be a support, as we usually see him with the Void. That wouldn't be too odd. This is going to be a similar opening for MMD as it was last game. They're going to probably burn down those trees and try and set up Prophet to be able to help out the middle lane if he can. We'll see if the Dire can do the same, try and ward some of those camps and force out the sentries from the Radiant side.
And we'll have to see. Looks like an early pause going in for both teams. MMD asking for good. Looks like both teams might be ready to go in just a minute. So on the side of MQ, we're going to have Jester CDN on the Undying. I got all the syrup. Nice. We'll be on the Windrunner. Splinter will be on that Rubik. Meow will be on the Venomancer and Confused. Yes, we'll be on the Faceless Void. And if you'd like to introduce, once again, MMD.
The Radiant team, MMD, we have Fudge playing the Templar Assassin. Kami will be on Batrider. Game Thrower playing Nature's Prophet. Shobo on Sven, and Glint, the captain, on top of Keeper of the Light.
Yeah, this is they're switching the roles up a little bit. As you can see, Kami's now on the Bat Rider, unless in last game he was, of course, on that Nature's Prophet. Chobo now onto that carry role, but Fudge is pretty much the only one staying the same, I think, unless also Clint might have been on that support as well. I think he was on the Rubik. So roles changing a little bit, but that doesn't really matter right now. It looks like they're going to head out. What they're going to do as far as lanes, both teams will find out in just a second. Looks like Splinter will head up into the top lane right now with Confused, with Jester, so it'll be Undying in that tri-lane with Confused on the Faceless Void, and of course Splinter on that Rubik. Mid lane is going to be Meow on the Venomancer. Interesting choice there. It looks like they really want to counter out this Templar Assassin as much as possible. Of course, that dot from Meow, of course, being that Venomancer is probably one of the only counters to the Templar Assassin available at this point, so they want to try to counteract that farm. Windrunner will be going into this solo off lane, into the hard lane against a defensive, dual lane, I guess it'll be, unless they decide to send Kami with them, but I doubt that'll happen. Looks like it'll be an off-lane Nature's Prophet currently, so he's going to be over here in the top jungle. He's going to be trying to pull. He's going to head out with his Treants, and his Treants are going to find some heroes here real quick, and I don't know if he wants to feed them. They might do so. They're going to keep chasing, but it looks like it'll be the Bat Rider in the jungle this time around, so Kami will be in the jungle once again. So they're switching up the heroes instead of their... I mean, the roles are staying the same. The heroes, however, are not. Nature's Prophet being that off-laner. And, of course, Kami will now be in that jungle, providing him a little bit more farm, which probably will help him get a quick Blink Dagger, which will be very nice. Did those trees get away is the question. They actually one last hit going for Confused, so at least he got one of them. And, so that's always good to happen. Clarity actually being popped up right now from Furion. He's going to make some new trees, and he's going to try to pull that creep wave, I'm sure. They're not going to let him do that, I don't think. These trees... taking a little bit of damage right now. Another pause coming out from the Windrunner. Actually going to get this DC from Kami real quick. So once again, another pause, and it wouldn't be an amateur online tournament without pauses happening left and right and center. So we're going to get into the game in just a minute. Once Kami does reconnect to the game, might be a few seconds. We'll have to see. So thoughts on these lanes right now?
I think they may have been better set to have Bat Rider in the top lane than having Nature's Prophet up there. It's going to be difficult for him. I mean, there's a lot going on. Undying being in a safe lane, he puts out a lot of damage. Rubik, telekinesis, and then Void being able to jump on him. Even if he tries to sprout himself or sprout one of them, he could still be in harm's way, whereas Firefly might keep it a little bit more safe. So I am curious to see this, but Bat Rider jungle, it's one of those jungles you don't see all too often, but it is very effective. He could stack the creeps and take them down pretty easily if he wants to. And it looks like we're going to resume here momentarily. The main thing is Sven's going to get free farm in the bottom lane, so it's going to come down to what they can do to try and counteract that, as he, it's going to be a long game if you're up against a Sven that starts off the way he wants to, picking up those early core items.
It's the same way going in for a Faceless Void if he can get his items as well. Talk about, sort of the counteract to the Sven, and I think Void is that one hero with that Chronosphere. I mean, if he gets a BKB, it doesn't matter. If you're in that Chronosphere, you're going to get your damage taken. What he decides to go after that will be pretty important to note in terms of items for that Faceless Void. Glint's taking a lot of damage already from I Get All the Shit. The Stormhammer's going to hit on him, though, and that'll back him off, and Glint will survive for the moment. Is there a power shot available? No, he went Windrun first. He's actually still going, and Glint's in some trouble of going down. First blood, no, not going to happen. Windrunner doesn't want to dive too far, especially against that Sven, and almost getting hit with that Illuminate, which I'm sure would have given him the kill in the first blood. So very close first blood down here in the bottom lane, but Windrunner should have a decent time against this lineup of heroes right now in this dual lane. Will be a jungling Kami right now using that Firefly. He's taking a bit of damage from these creeps, but he'll be okay. He's got plenty of tangos early on. Mid lane, I really want to know how Venomancer will do up against Fudge. He's already making his life difficult, not being able to refract up nearly as often, of course, and not getting he's getting some decent last hits as well. Venomancer, there's a run in the scale too, so Fudge is actually going to tick down from that, and that refraction is broken once again. That's already annoying. Top lane, Nature's Prophet already having a difficult time up here, only with one last hit right now. 9 last hits going for the Faceless Void, so you talked about Nature's Prophet's going to have a difficult time here, and yeah, I think I would have preferred to see the Bat Rider up there, but Kami already taking a lot of damage from these creeps. He does need to be very... Wow, he's living very dangerously.
And also, it looks like Nature's Prophet has to be wary of the dive now, too. That's coming into effect as the lane is getting pushed up further. And for certain, they have enough damage to take him out. And here goes Telekinesis on top of him. They're going to toss him back into the middle of the fight, drain some of his strength away, and Faceless Void's going to be able to finish this off with a leap. Leaps in front of him. One more hit will do the job, and down he goes. First blood to the Rubik.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's actually going to pause the game, maybe getting a little bit of lag, or just trying to compose himself. And Not what they wanted, obviously. As soon as you talk about it too, that just they just sort of signal each other. They say, "Yeah, let's go, let's dive this." And in fact, they do so. A time lock proc coming out from the Faceless Void, helping ensure that kill. But Rubik will in fact get the first blood. He's actually got a smoker to seed on him as well, so we might see a quick rotation from MQ into the middle lane, trying to get a kill early on. We'll have to see. Another pause coming in. I do want to check the ping real quick, make sure everything's okay. Ping is actually pretty good for almost everybody. They're hovering right around 170, 160, which is not that good. But then again, of course, not everybody can have the best ping in the world. And he is. So.
And the thing is, they gave the indication that they wanted to dive on that lane when on the first push, they started to press up a little bit further. So it may have been lag that made him move back forward or something like that, but certainly it was a mistake. And in fact, they're diving again now. This could be trouble for Undying, though.
Yeah, this is a bad dive. I think he doesn't really have any sort of help coming from the backside right now. I think he sort of signaled that he wanted to dive, but he realized he was too far ahead, and if he backed off, he might have died. So he's just going to go around from the side right now. Actually getting a DC here from the Nature's Prophet, so that could have been very dangerous for him. So they will pause the game out real quick. A lot of connection issues happening right now. He's getting big spikes, apparently, according to Glint. Things do happen like this all the time, though. This is the internet. This is, of course, online gaming, esports, if you will. And he'll be back right now. And Confused says, it's all right. We have, we just want to make sure that everything is going well. And he was diving him, obviously, and didn't realize that he was away, despite the fact that Game Thrower was playing up very aggressively there, despite the fact he did TP in. So, good is called. He's asking WTF is going on, and I can't help you with that, my friend. It's your internet, so we really can't help you there. Gwen doing some damage onto the Windrunner down here in the bottom lane. She'll back off for the moment. Going to try to take this pull, though, into the lane and maybe get some more last hits. Jester going to keep rotating around. Fudge maybe wanted to go for that kill. Probably could have if he was a little bit quicker, but unfortunately does not have his boots, has no traps just yet. He's only level 4, as it were. Venomancer is actually getting the most last hits in that lane, and now with the Tombstone being off, Game Thrower is in some really bad trouble right now. He's going to try to get out of there. There's Telekinesis bringing him back, but they're not going to keep going. Confused taking too much tower damage. Tombstone was even popped for that, but he will survive just barely, but he's got a long road ahead of him.
Yeah, this is going to be really testing for him on the top lane. He might have to go back and try and take some of the jungle share from his teammate in Batrider. And Void looks like he might be going for a Midas. We see this pretty often on Void heroes. Gloves of Haste are up already, so probably an indication that if he can pick up the early one, he'll go for it. On the bottom lane, there's some back and forth between Keeper and Windrunner.
This is hilarious. There's the Illuminate at the same time as the Power Shot came out, and they're just going to both back up. And actually, TP almost came in from, actually did come in from Game Thrower right now. But Sprout going to come out. He's going to dive this, but I got all the syrup just east through the tree with that Tango. Nice reaction time there, and Game Thrower now in trouble of going down against that Windrunner, but not enough mana for a Power Shot. So now he's out of that lane for a period of time. He's got enough mana for a TP, but that's not in 30 seconds. He actually might buy one, just head back up to the top lane. In fact, he does do so. And talk about the Hand of Midas in the Faceless Void. That is going to be a useful item, of course, giving you that attack speed on top of the fact that it's going to help your farm and your experience greatly. Venomancer in the mid lane still doing pretty well for himself with 19 last hits. Actually going for an Orb of Venom too, so that harass is still very strong for him against Fudge. And Fudge already has his bottle, already has his boots of speed, but Meow is not giving up this lane easily. Right now, bottom lane, jungle going right now, pulls happening. Game Thrower not TPing up just yet. He's actually at full health, so he can TP up if he wants to. This is essentially a free lane for Confused right now, so he should be getting as many last hits as possible. Another pause coming in from the Undying this time around, so it's like anybody. Veno's crying. I don't know about what.
Well, looks like we're going to resume. This is a really interesting matchup in the middle lane, Venomancer versus TA, and Venomancer has to be careful of the Prophet coming in. Like, he just pressed really far forward. He knew Prophet had taken some damage on the bottom lane, but they can come in, and despite all of his dots and such, Templar Assassin still puts a lot of damage, and this could instantly get turned on him. Venomancer isn't a mid laner for some obvious reasons, such as the fact that he doesn't have any escapes on gank attempts, and that's exactly what Prophet is for.
We'll trap Meow right now, and meanwhile on the bottom lane, Windrunner was killed. They're actually pinging on Meow. There's going to be a TP rotation, and Meow's in some very bad trouble right now. He's trying to get out, but he's going to go down sooner rather than later. Two Fudge to Templar Assassin will get that kill, and that's a pretty big kill there for the Templar Assassin.
How you lasted
picking
so
that up. He was having a little bit of a difficult time against the Venomancer, but like you said, and it's every time it's on point too. You're always talking about it, and then all of a sudden it sort of happens. Like, yeah, no escape mechanisms, and then, well, what happens? Venomancer gets killed. Not that it mattered. I mean, Nature probably didn't come in, but he could have easily just if they wanted to. But Fudge was absolutely fine in that solo kill. So.
Yeah, that was largely due to the fact that he missed a Gale, or it looked like he tried to put it on the creeps because it was a really bad miss, but Gale has such a long cooldown that you're very safe engaging afterwards. And that's one of the drawbacks. Of course, its effects last very long, but 22 seconds is a long cooldown for any skill on a support, and as such, they were able to take full advantage of that, and Fudge was able to solo kill him. And this is one of the issues with a solo Venomancer. It's just naturally going to occur.
And a huge dive actually coming, I think, from the side of the Keeper of the Light, or it was just a power shot, I'm not sure. The Keeper of the Light taking a lot of damage that will in fact go down. It's the second kill I've missed bottom lane, but another key thing to note is that Fudge had about 2 or 3 traps here in the mid lane, was actually able to keep Meow trapped up the entire time essentially. Heading top right now is going to be the Keeper of the Light. He looks like he might be into that solo off lane position. Chobo heading mid right now. They're going to do some lane switching, or they're just going to wait for it and go for a kill on Meow. There's the Stormhammer right now. God Strength is pop. They want this kill. There's going to be the trap as well. He's definitely dead. He's going to pop his poison over, but that's not going to save his life. There's no rotation coming in. Top lane, there's going to be a dive. Undying plus Confused helping to get the kill with the Rubik here on, of course, the Keeper of the Light, who just rotated in as I was talking about it, and they're just going to go immediately on him and kill him. So, the dive, they're not afraid of it, and they're doing it pretty well. And that Hand of Midas is actually done. It might have been done a minute or two earlier. I'm not sure. I didn't see the timing for that. Fudge and Cho are going to take this mid lane right now. DD Rune is up on the Templar Assassin. No fortification whip going to pop out just yet. It is available. There it goes in the mid lane right now. Might push them back. Top is also going to get fortified as well as they're trying to push this as well. So they're trying to trade towers. And if Confused can get the last hit here, and even like if they can kill this tower, they'll be in a very strong position. He's already got his 4-man shield. He'll finish off his treads relatively quickly and then go into whatever else he wants to next.
Getting that Midas up already is very important for him, and now he's 7.5 minutes. Already has another 700 gold in the bank, and he also has a Chronosphere available. So almost nobody can come up here to this top lane. Keeper of the Light's trying to do it again, and we see perhaps a rotation in from Bad Rider, but he's not level 6 because jungling with him isn't the easiest thing. He can do it, and he can do it pretty well, but you saw he almost died to the jungle creeps prior, and it slows him down a little bit if he can't execute it perfectly. And I mean, Keeper of the Light is very brave to just keep coming up to his top lane, because they're going to keep killing him, honestly, if he stands anywhere within sight range once they push us towards the tower again.
Yeah, brave is definitely the correct term for this. He's going right into the jungle. He's thinking, maybe I'll back up now. I think he wants to ward, but now he's going to head down into the river right now. Still not the best position, but he might just put a ward up somewhere over here onto the side where this observer ward is for the Dire. Fudge up here on the high ground, realizing that the Venomancer's staying very far back now, and I mean, that's not surprising to see the Venomancer's like, yeah, I'm not really dealing with that anymore. So Fudge or Glenn, excuse me, is actually going to come in here and help Fudge maybe go for a gank onto Meow. Meow's actually going to back off. They did see him rotate in with that Dire Observer ward that I was talking about. Tier 1 tower being pressured top. They're going to try to take this. They might be able to do so. There's rotations coming in from 2 heroes from Glint as well as Fudge. Fudge going the very long way right now, trying to help defend this, but tower does no glyph available. There's actually going to be a TP that is canceled. Tower will be taken. Fudge now going to be fighting alone just for the moment. The rest of the team not going to help converge there. They have to deal with the tombstone, so unfortunately Fudge is actually maybe going to be caught out alone. No vision though. There's no true sight to give them detection. He's going to pop out and he's going to run away smartly. There's no follow-up there from his team, so unfortunately he went the long way around. He wasn't able to really get any help, and of course that tower does in fact go down. Did he get the last hit? Nope, the tower was actually just taken by the Dire. So regardless though, that's still tier 1 up in the top lane. Tier 1's mid gone for Meow and his team. So Fudge gonna maybe look for a kill here on Meow. Meow's going to use his Poison Nova. Fudge actually going to melt a creep, unfortunately, and that might be the end of him. He's going to TP back home, and that's smart. He most certainly if he stayed would probably have died there. So very smart. He did miss that meld. If he had hit that meld, I think maybe he could stay and try to kill Meow, but he didn't. Of course, he didn't hit it. So.
Yeah, that was, I mean, he could have had a chance of killing him, but with the Gale on him, it's really hard to catch up to Meow. Of course, ever since the nerf to Sonic Traps, the instant slow isn't as great as it was, which is probably more fair now than it previously was, and as such, he wouldn't be able to catch up to him. So it wouldn't have been a kill, there would have been a little bit more back and forth damage. And now in the top lane, Void still sitting on that Chrono, 2 heroes pinching up here, and there aren't the strongest 2 heroes, they're going to actually jump on this.
Looking for Chrono right now, confused as at least. He's going to find James, he's going to sprout himself right in there. Is there time lock proc is the question? No, he will get out just fine, so does not use the Chrono for that kill. They certainly could have if they wanted that kill. Maybe a mistake in the end, but that's alright. You know, he's got 57 last hits right now at 10:30 into the game. Meanwhile, bottom, we actually haven't seen Chobo doing much. Chobo getting a kill and an assist. He looks like he's going for an armlet. Will be finished up relatively soon once he can get that recipe, of course, the Blades Attack as well. Windrunner doing okay down here as well, getting her own Blades Attack plus the Sage's Mask. So interesting to see what she'll try to build for. Maybe an Orchid, something like that. Maybe go for something else. We'll have to see. Actually, probably going to disassemble those triangles and build into a ring of facilities in that case. After gank on Meow right now, who has a DD rune, but not doing nearly enough damage, and the gank is too strong, Fudge doing too much damage, and they'll take him out, so that's a kill for Venomancer again, going down once again, Fudge getting that kill. Top lane, though, Confused actually pretty low in health right now. Does have his treads, but not a lot of health. I don't know if anybody has a sal for him. It doesn't look like he's actually going to TP back home. So that's going to be his first time out of lane, first time not getting farm. This allows Chobo to sort of catch up. He's only 4 last hits away from really catching up to him, and he actually has a kill, so that's going pretty well for him.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, not using their chrono is a mistake. They have to use it this early in the game. It's important to use all your skills, even if it is just for the last hit on one hero. But Nature's Prophet has a Midas up now, so you want to slow down his farm as effectively as possible. So getting the kill would have done just that, and kind of let him go. Nature's Prophet gets away with one. He was in a really bad position. I'm not sure that per se will come back to bite them, but if he doesn't use a great chrono here in the next minute and a half or so, it really is quite a waste. I mean, he's been level 6 for quite some time now. He hasn't used a single one.
Yeah, I mean, they could have been aggressive with that so often, but they chose not to be. He's still farming up, and I don't think he's going to... They could TP into the mid lane right now and go for it if they want to. He does have that TP available. Nature's probably going to get a kill on the Windrunner meantime, and I think that was down in the bottom lane with the help of Sven with God's Strength, of course, with Stormhammer flying out for that. That's an important kill. Here we go, mid lane right now. Jester taking a lot of damage. There's the Venomous Gale. Fudge in some trouble. Telekinesis is going to stop his TP scroll from going, so he's in some trouble right now. He will go down. Last hit going to the Rubik there. So 1-for-1 trade in that mid lane. Venomancer going down, of course, but then, of course, getting the Templar Assassin in return. Confused could have rotated in there, but he's still farming away, and like you said, that Chronosphere is still available. Not going to keep using it, though. This bottom lane being pressured right now. Chobo and Game Thrower trying to take it. There is a whip available. It will not fly, unfortunately, so he's probably getting that kill as well. He'll TP out back home, and right now we're actually going to see Glint trying to push Confused back up here in the top lane, so...
Yeah, it's okay for him to farm the lane and not TP into the aggression. It's just because the kill had presented himself, and you have to kind of capitalize on that. But he is getting free farm up here, still leading the game in terms of CS. Just a small margin ahead of Sven at the moment, but nonetheless, a lead is that much greater, especially when he has the Midas and Sven doesn't. So Sven's working towards an armlet, while Void probably going to look for... it's tough to say right now. He has 1,100 gold to make. He could go for pretty much anything. If he wants to go for a Mask of Madness, that's an option. Usually you don't see Mask of Madness and Midas, though. So probably going to be a damage output item, maybe a Chrysalis, or perhaps an MTB.
And we will have to see what he decides to go. He's got some time. He's got plenty of money in the bank right now, 1,000 gold. Yeah, those are definitely some options he can go for, and probably the best options as well. Even going for a casual Yasha might be good in this turn. In terms of this game right now, but I don't think he will do that. Well, we'll have to see. Glint, meanwhile, rotating mid right now, pinging on Splinter right now, who's in some trouble. TP coming in from the Nature's Prophet up in the jungle right now. He's going to turn around, look for this. It's going to be a 3-for-4 fight. We will actually have a rotation coming in from the Faceless Void. There will be a Chronosphere, maybe. A lot of damage going on to Splinter. There's the Stormhammer kill. Fudge, they're going to try to take this telekinesis. Wow, there's the Chronosphere. Nice time walk away. Is there enough damage here is the question. Game Thrower taking a lot of damage. There's going to be a nice mech, though, and now Chobo's going to try to turn on him, so they don't get anything done with that Chrono, unfortunately. Sentry Ward is going to be popped off right now. They're going to keep chasing. Confused is in some major trouble. He's got time walk, but it won't be enough. He will be able to go down. Sven going to get that kill, and now Meow going to use his Venomous Gale, saving his own life coming in. There's going to be a TP coming in from the Nature's Prophet, and Kami with the lasso. Now Meow's in some certain trouble right now, and MMD getting plenty of kills here. Windrunner's in some major trouble. Going to get Stormhammered. Will go down here to one right click. No, will get away. There's the Stormhammer. Was stolen by Rubik, but he's all alone right now. Telekinesis on him. They want that kill. He's going to get it. The Splinter now will go down. Fudge getting a double kill. Another TP rotating in right now from the side of the Undying, and he'll be trying to look for a chase here, but he's going to be the only one. He's actually slowed up with that trap. Nice trap placement from the Fudge, from the Templar Assassin, and they get away with, like, I think 4, maybe 5 kills and 1 death in that scenario. Something like that.
Yeah, Confused got a great chrono off. The problem was that he didn't have as much team follow-up as he needed. Windrunner wasn't there with, like, a power shot to take off some health, and as such, it allowed Nature's Prophet to get off that mech before he was able to take him down. So it reset the fight for all intents and purposes, and from there on out, he lived up to his name. He kind of looked really confused on the back end of that fight. He was in and out, and Undying went back in, Undying dropped in, and he turned around to come back in, and eventually he got taken down. But there's action in the middle.
Middle's action is going to pop off. There's going to be the tombstone flying from the Undying right now. They're going to try to focus this down, and they do so immediately. Illuminate going to fly out, going to hit 2, maybe even 3 in them. They're taking a bit of damage. They're going to have to back up towards this tower. Confused looking for another item right now. He's not going to be able to TP in at least for another 12 seconds, and I don't think he's going to want to maybe try to fight this item. Flying as 5 is MMD. They're going to try to take this tower. They should be able to do so. There is a glyph. I don't think it'll fly off. Stormhammer flying in onto iGod. He's taking a lot of damage. Blink going off as well. There's the Poison Nova. Blink coming in as well. A lot of damage going out. Chobo taking some damage, but they get the kill on the Windrunner eventually. Sprout up onto Splinter. He's going to try to TP out. Will he be able to get out of this question? It looks like he will, so nice play by Splinter to get out of there alive, just barely with his life. Kami on the back, now he's trying to get out too. They're all kind of low. This is a long dive, not a dive anymore because the tower's gone, but eventually they were able to get a few kills there, or one actually. So Stormhammer flying out onto Meow, he's still chasing, and Jester wants to go on Chobo. There's going to be the telekinesis. He will in fact go down, trading that Sven's life. So he did get the kill on the Venomancer, but once again, maybe trading his life not necessarily worth it. He's down for 38 seconds, giving more room for Faceless Void to farm. He still has that, of course, that Hand of Midas, and interesting trades there happening left, right, and center.
Yeah, 13-6 now. It's starting to become a large margin in favor of the Radiant squad, and you just see Templar Assassin once again opts for that drum build, and it seems to be kind of a trademark build for Fudge, and it certainly is interesting. I mean, it gives him extra move speed, and this is kind of how we saw Tiny switch over from the Blink Dagger to the drums when he found it was appropriate that he could just boost his move speed instead of having to blink in. I'm not sure it's kind of the same thing for TA. I think the blink is really useful, but it's been working for Fudge so far. He's 6-1. You can't really complain.
No, yeah, he's doing pretty well for himself right now. Got a lot of kills. Mostly on the head. Venomancer, who's had a tough game right now. He's died 6 times. He's going to miss the Gale, in fact, too. Unfortunately, Shackle Shot not going to latch. They're trying to chase down Fudge. He's pretty quick with those phase boots. They might not be able to do so. Telekinesis might fly out, but Illuminate going to hit them right in the face. There's the Telekinesis. Splinter is diving hard for this right now. Glenn taking a bit of damage from the power shot. Double damage. No, that was actually a Mana Leak onto Splint right now. He's taking a bit of damage. Glint, nice Shackle Shot onto Fudge, but there's no follow-up there. TP coming in from the Nature's Prophet, and now Splinter's in some trouble. He looks like he, in fact, will go down. Fudge getting that kill. So a heavy dive coming in from the Rubik right there, and no follow-up, no help. They actually backed off way before he was going down, so unfortunate for them. They're going to keep chasing right now. There's the trap. Meow looks to be the next target. Shackle Shot will latch, will save his life. Perfection is popped off. Power Shot going to fly in. It will hit. Fudge needs to back off now. He's still taking more damage, but I don't know if they can really follow this up. There's going to be the the tree is going to sprout, getting Meow right now, and of course the Meg pops up. Meow taking a ton of damage. The Flame Break will get the kill. Jester taking a ton of damage. They keep trying to fight. They're banging their heads against the wall. Fudge is just doing too much. They're getting too many kills. The Mech on the Nature's Prophet is doing too much, getting them too much armor, too much mana, health regen, and they're pushing too much and playing as 5, and they're getting plenty of kills. And Faceless Void, I mean, they're getting pushed at the tier 3 right now, and Faceless Void is, he's got to come in here right now, and he's got to help out. He's going to have to farm a little bit more, but he's going to TP in now. He bought something. It's on the courier, whatever it is. It is a Maelstrom. That's what he's going to be picking up here. Tier 3 not going to go down, and they're going to back off and take the Tier 2 top. But wow, this aggression is just ridiculous.
Yeah, this is pretty much the same thing we saw last game, and I mean, it's just really strong execution on behalf of the Radiant side, and overall, they make their opposition look flustered. They make them look a little bit unsettled.
Yeah, and Confused definitely is a little bit confused. Looking for a Chronosphere. The tower trying to get denied. It does get denied by Splinter, but he's going to take a Stormhammer in the face. There's the Illuminate. He will go down. Nice Chronosphere on 3, but there's nobody here. Everybody's really focusing on Kami right now. Confused has to back off. He's going to use his Midas while he does do so, but there's 2 gone on the side of MQ. Confused trying to back off as much as possible. There's the Flame Break going to push him back. He's got a Time Walk up. Jester, instant trouble, melt damage going on him. There's the Stormhammer hitting on 2, and this is going to be it, I think, for MQ. There's just so many dives right now, and playing as 5 early on, giving them that kill advantage so early with those ganks has just been so useful. Tier 3 is the next point of entry right now from the side of MMD. Windrunner bought back, but there's only 2 alive right now. There's no Chronosphere. He already used it. Chobo is pretty low in health. got a Mask Madness, so that regen is happening very slowly but surely. He's also got an armlet if he wants to pop that on and get that extra HP going. They're going to take this tower regardless, I'm pretty sure. Everybody's back up at about 3 seconds, including that Undying, who just died. Telekinesis on to Nature's Prophet. They want this tower, they want to get it. Looks like it might get denied. Nope, Nature's Prophet got it with his 3 from the outs, taking a ton of damage from Fudge. Stormhammer was stolen, Swifter got that going, and they're trying to continue going right now, but 1-0 trade here early on. Fudge going to TP out just fine. Showboat will in fact go down. They will get that kill at least, but everyone will back off. And that's a tier 3 tower, and MMD is 21-7 lead, and holy crap, man, it seemed like it's like in a snap, they got that lead like crazy.
Yeah, a couple things to note. This is a much more coherent team than what they ran the last lineup on the side of MMD. It has a lot more teamfight potential. And also, the other thing I wanted to call up was Sven did opt to go for those 4 levels in Warcry first, which against a Faceless Void is very hard to cope with. And now Void has a lot of skills that allow him to be an effective counter against Sven because of the lockdown, because of all those intangibles. However, going through that armor is not easy at all. And it essentially requires farm, because 16 bonus armor on your whole team, if you can get that off right before a Chronosphere comes out, good luck. He'll be whacking for minimal damage after mitigation. And that's pretty much been the case right now. Templar Assassin has a BKB up as well. Going to run into Venomancer here.
Down here, bottom lane, Venomancer once again in some trouble. The Shackle Shot doesn't latch, but Fudge is going to back off, realizing that there is TP rotation help. And if he got the kill on Meow, that would have been getting away with murder, but not so this time around, despite the fact that MMD has essentially gotten away with murder this entire game. But like you were talking about, yeah, Confused, that Warcry has been counteracting all of his Chronospheres and pretty much everything that he can do in a team fight, and he hasn't been farming poorly. Confused has got a Maelstrom, he's got 2,000 gold in the bank, he has a Hand of Midas, which he got pretty early on. It's just they're pressuring so hard at 21 minutes into the game, he can't do much. BKB is up on the Templar Assassin with the double damage rune in the bottle currently. That's something scary that you have to keep your eye on. It looks like BKB is the next choice for this Sven, despite the fact that he has the Morbid Mask, so he's not going to finish that Mask Madness just yet, unless it's on the Courier. I don't think it is. Nope. So...
yeah, and it's not Confused's fault that they're in the position they're in. It's really because of this Venomancer pick. I mean, there's nowhere else to put the blame. And 0-9 Venomancer, it's not meant to be a solo hero. It does counter Templar Assassin, but the better way to counter her is to put him in a dual lane against her and really get the most out of it and get some kills on him. He was able to keep up in CS for a while, but he didn't convert any kills, and as such, Templar Assassin still has a lot of damage, so he picked up last hits and then eventually just turned around and started whomping on the Venomancer, and it just really got out of control from that point on.
And it's unfortunate. I mean, he played so well. I'm talking about getting those last hits early on. I mean, he did miss a few of the Gales, unfortunately, some Gales that might have saved his life, and then everything sort of snowballed from there for the Templar Assassin, which he does so very well in many games, regardless of how much farm he got.
Double damage.
Now they're pushing this 2-2 tower with relative ease because the Templar Assassin has the double damage room. And Chobo's helping whacking away at it right now, and BKB is very close to being done. Just needs about 200 more gold and a lot of that, and then that's going to be very scary to deal with. But of course, you have a Chronosphere, so that's always nice to have. In fact, Confused TPing back in. Actually going for Chrysalis, this will provide a little bit more damage output, which they certainly need right now. Looks like they're actually going to head to Roche right now, though, on the side of MMD, or head around mid and look for another point of entry. It looks like Roche is going to be the option. Chobo going to go right in there. Probably pop Warcry in just a second. Going to use his armlet as well. Make sure that Fudge can tank it. Of course, with Meld, this is going to go down quickly. Looks like the side of MQ maybe wants to stop this. I don't actually know if they know what's happening. They have the Dire Wards here, so they should know that this is in fact happening. They'll rotate in, but I think Roshan is going to go down, and it should go on the Sven right now. Or the Templar Assassin regardless. It will be the Templar Assassin. Now they're going to try to turn on something here. Trap onto Meow. Looks like another number. Last one will be made there. Kami's going to get Shackle Shot at the tree. Nice Shackle Shot. There's the Chronosphere heading on to what seems to be 3 right now. Chobo trying to go down. There's a Sheep onto Confused, who has it on the Nature's Prophet right now. Huge Storm Hammer onto 4. Here's the Cleave. Oh, it's just so much damage. 2 kills immediately for the Sven. He's going to continue chasing right now. 2 down on the side of MQ right now. Meow's going to try to get out, but he's dead for sure. There's going to be the Sprout. They're going to get the kill. There's going to be the Venom Scale. It's not going to matter. Huge hits from the Sven. He's got a triple kill right now. That Storm Hammer was absolutely gigantic. And that's going to probably be it. I mean, it's 24-8 right now. The Hex Stick is out. I mean, they got the Hex off on that Faceless Void in the Chronosphere, and they're just too farmed at this point. They're going to push mid, and they should be able to take this game.
Yeah, I mean, in that fight, it kind of summed it up pretty nicely. We saw a nice Chronosphere caught off 3 in the middle of it, and what is Void going to do? If he decides to focus the Sven, he's whacking into a hero with upwards of 26 armor. And it's just the mitigation. He's hitting him, whatever damage he does, is essentially going to be granted right back once he pops the armlet. So it's pretty futile at this stage.
Absolutely. I mean, they're going to whack away at this 2-3. Nice Stormhammer on it too. Chobo going to get telekinesis as well. If they can take down Chobo, they'd be in a good position. There's going to be a lot of damage to K as well. Stormhammer going to adjust their CDN. He's going to have to back off that Fletch Golem, not tanky enough, taking way too much damage. Somehow, they're still surviving. Glint going to get the kill onto that one. They're going to take the tower. Raxus are next. Chobo very actually low in health right now. There's going to be the Stormhammer onto Fudge, taking a bit of damage. He'll get telekinesis up as well. There's going to be a lasso onto the Windrunner, taking a lot of damage. Fudge still alive somehow. And then, boom, everybody goes down immediately thereafter, and Meow is dead too, and that's going to be it. And the Void is the only one alive. He got Yule's up, and the Chrono not available. He will time lock proc the Sven, who will go down, but Confused barely surviving. They trap the TP, and they want the kill. They want the wipe. Not technically not a wipe anymore because the Rubik bought back, and they'll continue to buy back right now and try to stop this push. Splinter trying to telekinesis Fudge right now. They did not use that Aegis. Somehow he's alive, back at full health. There's the Chronosphere he wants. He's going to get the kill on Keeper of Light. Excuse me. Another TP coming in. This is a Boots of Travel TP, by the way. Or excuse me, no, it's not. Just for CDN. That's TP from Just for CDN. Confused though, taking too much damage right now. He will in fact go down. Fudge on a monster kill. So much damage. He will get telekinesis up and back and forth right now. But buybacks happening from everywhere. They might waste this Aegis. He will go down, but he'll be back right at full health. Meld for the Rubik right now, waiting for the Templar Assassin. Fudge wants to go right back in. Gonna chase after the Undying right now, but Fudge, he's got about 4 or 5 heroes, and there's going to be a nice Jackal shot there with the meld damage coming from Splinter. Fudge will go down, so sort of a costly dive there. They didn't even get the racks and actually turn that around, but a few buybacks actually were required from the side of MQ, unfortunately. But there is a semblance of hope here after that team fight, but they're still pretty far back.
Yeah, there's minimal hope if that. And, you can look at the graphs and they'll show that 20,000 gold, 20,000 experience. Things have gotten pretty far out of hand. They might get a tier 1 here, and that's pretty much the problem, is that if they win a huge team fight like that, the most they can get is a tier 1, and in fact, they're going to have to back up and not even manage that much, as we do see Kami coming in.
The TP, Jester might get out, but everyone's being chased down here in the middle lane. Meow looks to be the next target. He will, in fact, go down. Fudge still down for another 20 seconds, but Earn Charge on the Windrunner will be enough. I don't think so. Blink going to fly in. There's going to be a lasso latching up as well, and some more damage. They're just holding him in place. No Firefly even needed. So 2 down on the side of MQ once again. And like you said, they're going to try for the tier 1, but any team fight that they are going for is essentially futile. Unfortunately, Jester CDN wasn't able to get out. Somehow, despite being Yules, there's going to be a Stormhammer onto the Undying, Mana Leak as well. Tombstone's going to fly off. There's the Hex. They're chaining their stuns pretty well. Yules onto the Rubik, and there's going to be the Chronosphere. Can they get the kill? Chobo taking a lot of damage, surprisingly. Will he survive is the question. No. Actually, yes. Confused did not get the kill, and the armlet being popped like you talked about. There's the BKB. The Stormhammer onto Splinter. They're still diving, not even thinking about the racks. Chobo wants more. He's going to get one. Chobo very close to going down. He wants Meow. He's going to get another. Confused looks like he'll go down. Fudge in a bad position, but they will get the kill there. Fudge with Desolator, by the way, continuing to go. Refraction is up on Splinter. A buyback from the Windrunner. This is a crazy game at the end here. Fudge will go down this time around, so they get the kills they need to get, but unfortunately it's a little too late. Somehow they don't focus the racks. They get the range barracks, which I guess is nice. The nice Sprout coming in from Game Thrower, saving the life, but of course that power shot going to push down. There's the Stormhammer from Sven. Looks like he bought back. He wants more kills. Refraction. There's the Pig up on Splinter. Stunned. The Shatter shot on Chobo. Somehow still stunned up. They want more. There's going to be the War Cry, and they're going to focus racks right now. They've had enough of this. 35-15 is the score. 28 minutes in the game. Raxes are gone, and MQ's time is pretty much ran out. So there's the Shackle shot onto the Prophet. Will they remove the kill? Sven going on Meow, and oh gosh, there's one kill. Meow's in some trouble here. Of course, there's going to be the Fletch Golem popping up from the Undying. Lasso as well, coming in to sort of counteract that. He's going to go down next, going to pop off before he dies, if he does die. They get the kill on Meow in the meantime. Stormhammer, yes, he will die on the Undying. Sven getting that kill. Trying to look for the Raxes again. And run around. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's finally going to get it. And that's pretty much going to be an official wrap for this game. It's been over for the better part of 10 minutes, and GG's now called.
They're making me work for this game right now. There's just so much happening, and it's just so tough to keep. Like 38-15 at 30 minutes. It's not that much, but honestly, at the end of the game, it's sort of been a marathon of kills and deaths and what have you. Dagon, purchase up for Nature's Prophet. Nice. Really some good manner there. Excellent. Love to see that happening. So, like, I mean, we answered our question. MMD looks very strong, and then, like we said, we wanted something in between 56 minutes and 16, and we got it, 30 minutes, so there's always that.
I guess.
Yeah.
This is technically something in between, but not quite the way we had hoped it would be.
No.
As we do see the final hits going on the base tower. And, I mean, MMD, really impressive effort. MQ not quite on the same level, I suppose. I think they kind of went out on a limb with the Venomancer pick, because they looked pretty solid. The tri-lane was strong, and Windrunner did a decent job as well. So I guess the main problem had to be that Venomancer. So maybe they were just trying to experiment, and that happens often in SECS play as well.
Yeah, the 14 deaths sort of indicating that the Venomancer pickup might not have been the best course of action. But then again, like you said, this is the SECS. You live, you learn, and you come back next week. In the meantime, we're going to get into the finals. I don't know who it'll be between, but once again, I'm Maut. You can follow me on my Twitter at MautDota2. Of course, twitch.tv/MautDota2 is my Twitch. You can follow John on twitch.tv/NYJohnTV and at NYJohnTV on Twitter. Any last words before we get into the next game?
No, I think I'm ready to see it. I wonder who they're going to be up against, if it's going to be HCID or the Challengers.
And that's right. We'll have to find out. So we'll be back in a minute. Stick here, guys. We're going to get the finals for you in just one moment, so thanks for joining us.